Good evening. So, here we go, as they say. The new season is underway, and all over the country, football fans are hoping it's their turn for success. Newcastle United are back in the big time. There's no shortage of confidence at St James's Park. Spurs were the visitors today, and they reckon it's about time their boat came in. Last season's sixth place wasn't good enough for Liverpool supporters. They're hoping for better. Sheffield Wednesday fans were at Anfield, but whichever team you support, until 3 o'clock today, everyone was equal. Liverpool, Sheffield Wednesday, Newcastle, Spurs, tonight's featured games. But as ever, we've got all the goals on Match of the Day. We've got all the saves. And we've got all the celebrations. Alan and Trevor will watch the best and the worst of the action with us, but we won't mess about. Off we go. If it's atmosphere you wanted today, the place to be was St James's Park. Newcastle versus Tottenham, and Barry Davis is the commentator.
Black and white and total enthusiasm all over. The close season on Tyneside has been far too long. Everywhere you look, you see a black and white shirt. It's said that £4 million worth of shirts have been sold since promotion to what is now the Premiership was gained. Wonderful atmosphere which surely will not be bettered anywhere in the country as Newcastle come back to where they believe and where football, I think, believe they belong. Ossie Ardiles, one of football's ironies that he should be the first opposition manager here. He was in charge here for 10 months and now returns 18 months later as the manager of Tottenham Hotspur. His successor, of course, Kevin Keegan, who is building another legend on Tyneside. Well, there's no Peter Beardsley, of course, in Newcastle's lineup, and his loss cannot be minimised. But there are two new signings. Nico Papavasiliou, a Greek Cypriot who comes bearing considerable gifts, and Malcolm Allen, who was signed from Millwall only yesterday, having first really made his name at Norwich City and now getting a second chance at top level. Spurs are without Bambi and Anderton, but they also include two new names. Colin Calderwood, their signing from Swindon, where he was their longest-serving player, and Jason Dozzell, who had 11 years at Ipswich. And they include in their lineup for the first time since January, Gordon Durie. I would think the position of referee was a pretty prized appointment, and it's gone to David Allison from Lancaster. So all over the country, it's away the lads, but it has a special ring here at St James's Park. First touch for Calderwood. Dean Austin without his usual partner Justin Edinburgh, who is among the injured, as is Paul Allen. Allen, Papavasiliou, and nicely taken away by Calderwood on the oncoming Lee Clark. Barry Venison, the new captain of Newcastle. Not too many have captained both Sunderland and Newcastle, but he's succeeded in doing that. That's not the best of challenges. Andy Cole wants an early touch. Flicked up to run onto, but that was too far off his boot even for himself. Terry McDermott, Kevin Keegan's number 2, down on the bench. Flag stayed down, and rightly, they didn't get it together then, Newcastle. This is Durie. And that's a corner. Venison not well placed. Jury almost gave that too much, but it needed to flick over the top. But he went with the header across the face of the goal, met it quite strongly. Dizelle near post, Jury further back. Now his clearance, but not for too long. Met by Scott. Beautifully driven crossfield ball, but too hard for Clark to take. Arrived a bit too high, he needed to be rather wider to come in on it. More subtle nod might actually be more embarrassing, but it was a good effort. And Newcastle not well organised. Like the head. Scott left nowhere. Bit fortunate to get it back. Gives it away again. And here's Dizelle. Good save. Referee didn't like the follow-up. And neither did the Czech goalkeeper, and Sheringham is spoken to by the referee. Just calm it down. It's a long season ahead. Dizelle having the first really clear chance. Good stop. Goalkeeper well positioned. In the end, the goalkeeper hit his own man, but it was definitely a foul by the Spurs number 10. Beresford among the England hopefuls. Scott. Good play, Samways. Sheringham is onside, and with the chance, which he takes. Samways pass, and it's the Tottenham supporters who enjoy the first goal of the season at St James's Park. Really good ball, and they got caught out this time. Goalkeeper off his line, but Sheringham continuing with the confidence that he showed last season and which won him an England cap. Good touch, wide of the goalkeeper who was well forward, and the net was empty. Goal, 36 minutes, 14 seconds. This is Clark. Campbell had come across. Free kick against Campbell. Awkward challenge, he was unbalanced by his opponent's manoeuvre. 6 Newcastle players in the 18-yard area. Hit square to Lee. Looked a little obvious. For all the efforts of Sedgley, nobody came out to the man about to make the strike. But maybe, to be fair, it's clearer from up in the stand than it was down there. Good cross, well taken. Too many times last season, not too many times did Kevin Keegan go into the dressing room at half-time with his side behind. A little blip, but it all seemed to have been going far too well. That apart, and they've recovered so well. Won the first 11, won the last 5. But they're on the wrong end of the score sheet at half-time, because Teddy Sheringham finished with style, having been put in by Vinnie Samways. At half-time, the crowd at St James's Park have to digest the scoreline of Newcastle United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Well, for all his illustrious career, this, of course, is the first time that Kevin Keegan has managed at top club level. as he found the words at half-time. Here we go on the second half. No changes in personnel. Robert Lee. And another face in the crowd, presumably checking his investment. Alan Sugar in the middle. Dury. Nice touch, Samways. Good touch by Dazelle. And Samways goes on. Forced wide though by Howie. As well to get in across, but the free kick will be given against Samways. Judge has done more than his fair share of pushing. His 7th season in the senior team, Vinnie Samways. He's made a very good start in this match. It's interesting how it was he who won the ball before providing for the goal. Cole. Haven't seen too much of him. Hasn't had too many opportunities. Venison. Clark. Necessary challenge by Sheringham. We're certainly up. The referee plays on. Sheer determination won that. Beresford. Papa Vassiliou trying to go around the back. Lee. Header was by Cole, and behind him, Markham Allen was the better placed. Whether Campbell would have got in between them is arguable. There was a hesitation from Tottenham after the incident involving Sheringham. In the end, Cole was well wide. And here's Dury. Dazelle down the middle. Good save. Twice Jason Dazelle has been denied a debut goal for Tottenham by the Czechoslovakian goalkeeper, Pavel Srnicek. There's a free header that Sheringham will be disappointed if he didn't do rather better with. His one goal was enough to win the opening match of last season for his club. This was then Nottingham Forest against Liverpool. Yes. Taken early, here's Sheringham again. Could have had 2 in quick succession. They were caught sleeping then, Newcastle. Struck it well enough, but pulled it across. Pass, not a good one to Lee, who took it off Mabbutt because of Mabbutt's error. Watson again. How many times did he beat him? No foul, says the referee, who was superbly placed. Clark. And the attacker fits and starts, but Cole! Cole again! Good save and grabbed just in time. Too anxious, understandable, but so costly. It's a really good block. And he was able to pull it back as it threatened to go over the line. Newcastle beginning to find their way. Not with passes like that from young Watson. Came into the side when he was only 16 originally. Dury, plenty of support. Challenged by Scott. Sheringham, danger not over yet. Samways once again. Sheringham, beautifully taken. Another good stop by Pavel Srnicek. Got his angles all right this afternoon. beaten once when he came out and couldn't claim. Mabbott. Good cross back in. Austin. That's where Cernicek was. Saw it clearly. And another good save. Sheringham. Venison. Clark and Mabbott. Mabbott started in typical form. Clark did well. Lee, well claimed. Clark did really well, and it was a testing cross, which Torsfett did well to take. Clark. Comes down to Lee, and that's a free kick. That was a launch by Austin. Sheringham had a word. Anybody doubted Sheringham's support of the new Tottenham's cause, surely this game would have removed those doubts. It's been very much the organiser, a lot to say, and has done a lot too. O'Brien places the ball. And Beresford on this side to go around the other side of the wall where there is a man. But it's O'Brien. Oh, he hit the post! And then it dribbled back into the arms of Torsfett. Escape for our dealers. Rough luck on Newcastle. O'Brien, and the touch that seemed to be going home from Lee just wouldn't go home. And our dealers team has won the day. Dramatic finish. Teddy Sheringham's goal as Oddie Ardiles shakes hands with every Newcastle player. Club where once he was in charge. Their expressions say a lot, but they shouldn't be too dejected. It's only the start. But it's been a good start for Tottenham Hotspur, with the one goal of the match coming in the 36th minute, scored inevitably by Teddy Sheringham, one of many Tottenham players to have a good game. But he was not man of the match for me. That role belongs to Vinnie Samwes. Not what they'd written in the script on Tyneside, but the many in the black and white stripes, on the field and off. They'll be back. There's a part to play in this season for them, surely.
It's not the end of the world. It's one out of a lot of games, but I was disappointed because we didn't do ourselves justice. And I know the players are much better than that. And you can say all sorts of things to them, but at the end of the day, we just get them in Monday, and we don't become a bad team overnight. But we had some good lessons taught us here today, and it's very important how we have learnt from that performance. You know, we're in with the big boys now, and we're not going to dominate games, and no one's going to lie down and let us have the ball, and they're going to battle for everything. And I thought, to be fair to Aussie and Tottenham, the least they deserved today was a 1-0 victory against us.
Everyone was writing us off, you know, they were all saying, like, first game of the season at Newcastle we weren't going to get a result, but we've come here, stuck together, and in the end I thought thoroughly deserved a win.
Now, you were the outsider who's come in. I mean, you've seen what's been going on at Tottenham, you've read all the headlines and so on and so forth. Tell me, how did you find the club when you arrived?
I felt in a very healthy position. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of what went on in the summer with the directors and all that, but I felt when I first went there I was in a healthy position. They seemed to got all over their problems, and all they want to do is, you know, play football and, you know, get Tottenham back on the map where they belong.
And you will know what the Newcastle supporters will be feeling tonight.
Well, they will be feeling a little bit downhearted, but the championship is a long way to go. They have a very good manager, they have a very good team, and they have to carry on behind the team, and they will be going places, no doubt.
Newcastle's going to be the place to be next 4 or 5 years. It might not happen overnight, but I think we're going to build on this, and we're going to get better, and we're going to learn lessons, and we're going to be beating sides like this as well. And I'm still looking forward to it. It's not knocked me, and I hope it hasn't knocked the supporters, because they wait a long time.
Trevor, Barry Davis got it right, says here. Opening Saturday of the season, Newcastle win in front of adoring fans. That was the script. What was the secret of Spurs' success?
Well, I think Kevin gave a very fair assessment. For 70 minutes, Spurs passed the ball much better, dominated. It was only late on when Newcastle came into it. And I think the midfield was the key area. I mean, Ozzy, whenever I've seen his sides, the midfield, he fills them up, and he has a sort of diamond formation. Today, sort of Vinny Semways and Jason Dizelle were the 2 points, top and bottom, and either side were David Howes, really, and Steve Sedgley. And Vinny Semways was the one, for me, who kept popping up in deep positions, picking up this loose ball. He's got such good balance, drifts away from players, you know, then gets the ball off here, Gordon Jury, looks up, takes his time and delivers a perfect ball. And I must say, Teddy Sheringham kept making these sort of runs behind the Newcastle central defence. His first touch there was terrific, and he just rolled it into the empty net. But I mean, Vinny last season was playing sort of just behind the front two. Today you can see him running from deeper positions. Good link up again with Dizelle, who played that more forward position. Again, he carries the ball, gives them that little bit of pace which they'll lack at the moment without 1 or 2 other strikers. But also in defence here, you see him pick the ball up, and instead of just whacking it away, they knock it square, and it's that leisurely build-up that we saw quite often late on in the second half of the season for Spurs. And again, down the channels, Newcastle were very vulnerable behind their 2 fullbacks. Good early ball in, and it's Dizelle, that front man of that diamond shape, who finished with the shot. But a pat on the back as well defensively. There's Gary Mabbott, and he and Calderwood at the centre of defence did exceptionally well when you think they were without Ruddock. Look at Mabbott there, anticipating, hooking the ball away. And a blank sheet, I think, was excellent when you think also they had young Sol Campbell at left back, who I thought did very well as well.
But for those Geordie fans, when you're only 1 down, you've always got a chance. And Newcastle did have some chances late in the game.
Well, they did, and that's, you know, I think Spurs would be the first to admit they missed chances. They should have had the game sewn up, and of course 2 late good chances they were as well. I mean, you know, blinding save from Eric Torsfeld. Steve Watson, who in fact came on as substitute, puts in a great cross, which Andy Cole should have perhaps put on target first of all. But his second opportunity, I mean, probably more self-defence than anything with Torsfeld, otherwise it probably knocked his head off. But then the free kick probably just clips the wall, comes back out, and I think Robert Lee will feel he should have just put the chance in. But again, Torsfeld, 2 vital saves, and the mark of a good goalkeeper keeps his concentration.
Alan, Kevin Keegan said his side have got to live in the real world. We're in with the big boys. What does that mean for the Newcastle players?
Well, first of all, I thought Tottenham were very professional, scored a class goal, they stuck together, and they deserved to win. But Newcastle will be disappointed. What Kevin means was I thought they failed to exert any sort of pressure on Tottenham at the start. Great atmosphere at 3 o'clock, was made to measure for Newcastle to come and hit them in surges, but it just didn't happen. As I said, they'll be disappointed, but what they've got to do is pick themselves up. They're going to have their ups and downs. They've got to pick themselves up for the game at Coventry on Wednesday night.
Yeah, big season for Newcastle. Well, Liverpool fans are so used to success. Finishing 6th last season was classed as something of a calamity. They opened today at Anfield against Sheffield Wednesday, and they won't need reminding. They went to both major cup finals earlier this year, but lost both. The 2 sides are expected to figure in this season's title race. John Motson was there to see how they started.
The last season for one of the game's great landmarks, the Kop at Anfield, will be demolished next summer to make way for a 12,000-seater stand, which will cost Liverpool £7 million. And 3 players on the field today fetched well over that figure in football's summer sales. Sheffield Wednesday paid Sampdoria a club record £2.7 million for England's Des Walker, who becomes the most expensive defender in the British game. Closely followed by Neil Ruddock, for whom Liverpool gave Spurs £2.5 million, and who looks like becoming a big crowd favourite here. While Nigel Clough's fee of £2.25 million was fixed by the transfer tribunal when he left Nottingham Forest. Clough starts up front alongside the new captain Ian Rush. Ruddock is number 25 in the new squad numbering system, playing alongside Mark Wright, with number 4 Steve Nicol starting in midfield with 2 other stalwarts, number 12 Ronnie Whelan and number 14 Jan Molby. At number 11 Mark Walters starts on the left because John Barnes has a thigh strain. So no Barnes and no Chris Waddle. He's out of the Sheffield Wednesday side with a back injury, so number 14 Chris Bart-Williams comes in. Wednesday's other new signing, number 12 Andy Pearce from Coventry, plays alongside Walker at the back, and number 7 Paul Warhurst, armed with a new contract, plays up front. One change already on the ground this season. The old dugouts that have been here since before the war have gone, being replaced by seats for the coaches and substitutes, but you won't see Graham Souness down there at the start. He's elected to sit in the stand until he gets restless. The referee is Gerald Ashby from Worcester, who was in charge of the Charity Shield last week. The Anfield pitch in superb condition as Sheffield Wednesday and the Stripes attack the Kop in the first half. David Hurst put it down beautifully. Warhurst already here and tries to set up Carlton Palmer, and it comes off Stig Inge Bernabei, the left back, who's got the position in preference to David Burrows. It was Palmer's shot. And there goes Nicol King chasing. Oh dear, bad ball by Sheridan. This is Walters. Now it's Björneby for Liverpool. Rush gets there, and Nicol nearly got there, and oh, it bounced desperately badly for Mark Walters. He can't believe it. The spin on the ball took it away from him when it would have been a really good chance. It's across from the Norwegian Björneby. The first swing is by Nicol, and look what happens here. Corner. Mark Wright gets up. Oh, and saved by Woods. A header in the FA Cup final spoiled Wednesday's dreams, but Woods was sharp on this one because he had to be. Mark Wright gets up well here. Oh, and that's a bad one. Mulvey's been caught by Palmer and Liverpool across. There's going to be a booking here for the England midfield player. It's off. It had to be at least a booking, but it's a red card, and Carlton Palmer is sent off the field. It was a bad one, I have to say. And Gerald Ashby, the referee, was firm and decisive. Well, Jan Mulvey really felt the challenge, which is coming up here. The ball goes, and Palmer, there's no question in my mind, he followed through. And there's a bit of a sensation here on the opening day of the season. An England player sent off the field for violent conduct. And if the referee deems that's what it was, or dangerous play, then he's perfectly entitled to show the red card. Here's Rush. And now Björneby. Clough. Jones. Clough finds Nicol. Intricate move by Liverpool. Clough! Yes! What a start for him. Well, that was a cracking goal by any standards, and it's come on Nigel Clough's Premiership debut for Liverpool. Worked in from the right, and he rifled that beyond the England goalkeeper. Good play by Nicol, and look at that, top of the net. And he'll be delighted, and I'm sure that a certain Mr. Clough Senior, who was a great goal scorer himself, will enjoy watching that one on Match of the Day. Walters. Oh, good piece of trickery there. They've got three coming in from the far side, and it comes off Des Walker. Bjorneby to take it. There's Ruddock. Comes out to Nicol. Support coming in here from Whelan, back to Nicol, and it's Ruddock! He was onside, and he stayed in a very good position after the corner was half cleared. Just had to stretch a bit on the final contact here, Neil Ruddock, but it was beautifully played across, and what a goal that might have been. Nicol, Jones. And again, the thrust is on the right. Well, two incidents in that half which may prove significant. The referee, Gerald Ashby, perhaps setting an example there for the season by showing the red card for a bad tackle by Carlton Palmer, and then Nigel Clough in his first game here at Anfield in the league, supplying a thunderous shot which puts Liverpool in front against the 10 men at half-time. Well, a worthy organisation called the Association of Football Statisticians has come up with a fact that the commentator would never have known. Apparently these two clubs have won more games on the opening day of the season than any others. 52 for Liverpool and 46 for Sheffield Wednesday, to be exact. But what's more significant, I suppose, is who wins today. Here's Warhurst. Clough, who seems to have given Liverpool the start they wanted, certainly so far. This is Jones, had a good first half. And now it's Nicol. Jones goes again, trying to get behind Nigel Worthington. A corner at the Kop end will bring Ruddock and Wright forward. It's back with Molby. And it was Ian Rush who was at the far side, but in the end Warhurst got back to help, and it's a corner. This is Whelan. And Hurst is also back in defence at the moment as Wednesday support. Oh, and that nearly fell. And Walters! Oh, it's hit the defender. It nearly fell initially for a very frustrated Nigel Clough. But then Walters hit it, and the deflection takes it over the bar. Ruddock hits once, goal, Clough. He gets his second. Well, there's always something special about the number 7 shirt at Liverpool. You have to be prepared to withstand comparisons with the likes of Dalglish and Keegan, but Nigel Clough has made some start here. A completely different sort of goal, but one that a striker would enjoy getting just the same. Neil Ruddock comes in with that power header. It comes back off Woods, and Clough is there to tuck it in. 2-0. And Richie Barker and Trevor Francis seeing a match at the moment going away from them. Forward by King, up goes Hurst. Oh, Warhurst! Sheffield Wednesday's best opportunity of the afternoon by some way. And the man who's been cracking the goals in pre-season, Paul Warhurst, did so well when he was converted to a striker last season. Couldn't have asked, really, for a better opening than this. It sat up nicely for him on the volley. This is King. Nicol. Oh, there's a man over here if they play it right. This is Molby. Cross to Nicol, and Rush striding into the box now. It's dangerous, this. It's going to be Clough again! And the hat-trick was beckoning. But his first reaction is to applaud Ian Rush, and that's the sign of a really good pro, because Rush set that up for Clough in a manner that a striking partner would truly appreciate. It was a good move all round, actually. So Graham Souness, who has come downstairs for the second half to sit next to the new assistant manager, Roy Evans, must be feeling pretty satisfied at this stage. Here's Rush. Clough is coming up in support. This is Mark Walters. Just look at the number of passes they can afford to make now. Walters again. And it was Sheridan who came in behind him, as Liverpool got a little over-elaborate, and now Warhurst at the other end goes past... Oh, he didn't, did he? Now, that's a bit... Ruddock blocking Warhurst, and there might have been a case, possibly for a yellow card there, I don't know. Well, I'm not sure how intentional the contact was, seeing it from that angle. Warhurst seemed to bounce off him. Anyway, it's a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. The fans at that end are not too pleased, but they're looking for a goal to haul them back into the affair here. Pearce, Warhurst, what a good save! Well, if Liverpool are going to sign Tim Flowers, Bruce Grobbelaar won't give way easily. That was a sharp example of his reflexes. And Warhurst here, from Pearce's setup, must have thought he got it right. Good save. Jones. That was one of the few mistakes that Steve Nicol has made today, and it's given Warhurst the chance to find Hurst. Warhurst goes for the return, and still there, Warhurst. Did Grobbelaar bring him down? Well, there's no heavy appeal from the Sheffield players, only from the fans. And this was his third moment of danger. In fact, Grobbelaar's legs definitely seem to make contact. Jones. Everybody clustered in the middle for Liverpool for a moment there. This is Whelan. There's some width now, though. Björneby. Clough. Oh, can he do it now? It's Nigel Clough! Oh, and a save by Woods denies him what would have been a great climax to this personal performance by the number 7. He did everything right there, heeled his way through, including Des Walker. But a good save. Hyde. This is Worthington. Grobbelaar coming. The new-look Liverpool start with a win. Appreciative shout goes round the ground, and although it has to be said that Sheffield Wednesday's season never really got started because Palmer got sent off in the first quarter of an hour, the day belonged really to Nigel Clough. Two well-taken goals. The first one spectacular, the second one predatory. There could have been a third on at least 2 occasions, and he'll go off well satisfied. Sheffield Wednesday left to reflect perhaps on an uphill struggle, although they did make some chances in the second half. Liverpool looking like the passing team we've got to know, win by 2-0.
Any complaints about the sending off of Palmer?
No, the referee gave the decision. The tackle was a bit high, bit of a rash challenge. I think that the referee gave it and we have to accept it.
Well, you couldn't have asked for a better debut than that, Nigel.
No, possibly the third would have capped it all nicely, but before the game I think I'd settled for one, never mind 2.
2 very different goals in their way.
Yes, unusual to get one from back the edge of the box. The second one a little bit easier.
How did you feel that you've settled down into this Liverpool team and indeed into the club?
Yes, very well into the team. Obviously things have got better as pre-season preparations gone on, culminating today.
What's impressed you most about the setup here and the team that you've just joined?
I think they do everything the right way. They make sure you warm up. They make sure that everything's right and that you prepare well and you do things right. And I think it's at the end of the day you go out there and the atmosphere is just unbelievable, the best I've known. And to play here, it's just I think means everything to me.
I thought we deserved it. Okay, they could talk about the sending off, but I felt we were going to win today. We have been doing very well in our pre-season work, and we've been looking sharp today. If anything, I felt we didn't look sharp towards the end of the game. I thought we'd done enough in the early part of the game to win it.
Can I ask you finally about your interest in Andy Sinton? Is that going to be pursued by Sheffield Wednesday?
Yes, we're trying to, come up with an offer over this weekend. I know that Arsenal have already made an offer which has been accepted by Queen's Park Rangers, and hopefully that after 48 hours I'll be in a position to do likewise.
England manager Graham Taylor was there today, Alan. The sending off, perfect decision really.
I thought it was a good decision by the referee. Sometimes when it's early in the game, they can be a bit lenient, but this was X-rated stuff. We've got Bruce Grobbel on the ball here. Throws Jan Moe when he comes out, and Carlton Palmer's on the edge of the picture. All he needs to do is come and block it. But that nearly hits Jan in the neck. It's that high, really. And I'd like to sit here and say he was over-enthusiastic, that it was mistimed. But it wasn't. It was just a bad challenge, and I thought the referee made the right decision.
It is out of character for Carlton Palmer somewhat.
Oh, definitely. There's no way he's a dirty player, but that was a bad challenge.
It was a good day, though, for Liverpool's two big signings, Neil Ruddock and Nigel Clough.
Yeah, I thought Ruddock defended well, and he was positive in attack. He's very, very good in the air, and he attacks the ball. I thought Nigel Clough was quiet for 40 minutes, then he just exploded on the scene. We pick him up here, he's highlighted. Nichols on the ball, wide on the right. Nigel Clough, you watch him closely, spins away, loses his marker completely. The ball doesn't come, he's very patient. He moves back in. Nichols still on the ball, he gives it to Jones. Clough's involved in the build-up, nice little touch there. And watch him move here. Nichols plays it inside, lets it run past him, and bang, pick that one out. Nobody's going to save that at all. A super goal. And this is good play as well. Beyond the ball, plays it into Clough, good touch. Loses it, gets it back, brings it past two defenders. Great shot and a terrific save by Chris Woods. But Ruddock, this typifies the way he plays. He's got such a big heart. He brings it down here. He hits it first time. Who chases the break in the box? Ruddock. Then he chases it again. He hustles and harries Walker and makes him play it out. And he's going to be a big crowd favourite there. But also what impressed me was his passing today. He gets in his left peg. It's a 40-yard pass, inch perfect, into the feet of Rush. So it was a good day for the two of them, and they combined for the Clough's second goal. Again, Ruddock at the back post, powerful in the air. And who reacts first? It's Nigel Clough, and they've got every right to be happy.
Two good signings, early days though. I should say, what do you make of Bruce Grobbelaar's ponytail?
Well, he's a showman, isn't he? But I mean, he made some great saves today. He's flamboyant to the last. I think Liverpool are better balanced now than they've been under Graham Souness.
I don't think you should grow one out. Trevor, what did you make of Sheffield Wednesday?
Not bad. I mean, it was a frustrating start to lose a key player so early in the match, and it was a warm afternoon, and I know myself, if you're down to 10 men and it's the sun there, and Liverpool are the worst side, aren't they, because you're chasing around after the ball and a few tongues were hanging out late on. But I think overall both sides look pretty good. I think they'll be in contention this year. Liverpool definitely improved with those two new signings, and I think Sheffield Wednesday with Carlton then in the side hopefully for 90 minutes and Chris Waddle back will be up there challenging as well.
You and I both tipped them, so
well, that's why I've got to back them up today, haven't I? Yes.
Well, the Premiership has opened up today without a single goalless draw. I'm reliably informed that 27 goals were scored in all. We've seen 3 so far. Here's another 9.
A year ago, Arsenal began the season with a surprise home defeat by Norwich. Today, Lee Dixon's challenge on Peter Undlove set the scene for another full start at Highbury. A penalty, no question, said referee Alan Wilkie. And for Mick Quinn, a good day was only just beginning. The second half, even better for Coventry. Wegerle with the vital back heel. Despite Tony Adams' attention, Quinn irresistible. And 3 minutes later, an already miserable afternoon for Arsenal got even worse. Quinn's finishing, his manager later described as exquisite. Not the adjective usually attached to Mick Quinn, but at 50-1 to be the league's top scorer, perhaps he's not a bad bet. Down on the south coast, the Dell saw the quickest goal of the day in the Premiership. 11 minutes gone and joy for Everton as Peter Beagrie and Mark Ward combined. Beagrie the scorer. And Beagrie knows how to celebrate. A free kick, the origin of Everton's first and second goals today. Just before half-time, the Southampton defence was exposed again. Ian Andrews doing well to frustrate Tony Cottee, but John Eberl doing the necessary. If Everton's fans needed a boost, this was it.
I have failed in my management over the last 18 months in terms of providing a successful side for Everton Football Club, but that takes time. And I think what they've seen today is a side who want to play the type of football that they want to see, and hopefully we'll get the results to go along with it.
Free kicks played a vital part at Bramall Lane as well. Willie Faulkner on his debut for Sheffield United, giving his new club the lead. Some free kicks are predictable, others less so. And from the latter category, John Moncur and Swindon produced the equaliser. A soft goal maybe, but Swindon always in contention. Then from United, the decisive strike they can produce even without Brian Deane. Carl Bradshaw, the hero of Bramall Lane. And 2-1 became 3-1 thanks to Dave Bassett's man of the match Andy Scott, once of Sutton United. Fraser Digby could deny him, but not Paul Rogers. The league's newcomers, Swindon, felt just a little sore.
We didn't deserve to lose 3-1, no way. I thought a draw was a fair result on the day, and possibly once we equalised, it looked like there was only going to be one winner.
David Davis reporting, and promoted Swindon now aim to get off the mark at home to Oldham next Wednesday. The manager who left them in the summer had a game himself today. Chelsea's new player manager is Glenn Hoddle, and he's given himself squad number 20 for this season. The visitors at Stamford Bridge were Blackburn Rovers.
One or two of the opening day's fixtures were all but overshadowed by football landmarks. The return of Glenn Hoddle to the top flight of the English game after a 6-year absence was the most eagerly awaited. At 35, Hoddle returned as the Chelsea sweeper against Blackburn. His grace and touch have survived the years stylishly. But his challenge now is to combine his past mastery with a more pressing job of creating a successful team in his own image. There were moments today when the likes of Wise, Spencer and Peacock were combining brightly when all seemed set fair. David May denying Peacock a flying start. But Blackburn continually created the clearer chances. Kevin Gallagher had half of West London to himself, but he went for an early chip and holed out to keeper Karine. Chelsea's best opening of the first half was the product of a calamitous mix-up between May and Mims. Number 12, Nicky Marker to the rescue, with Cascarino breathing down his neck. Even without the rapidly convalescing Alan Shearer, there's a cut and a thrust about the attack Kenny Dalglish has assembled. Mike Newell had a couple of good chances before the break. But 3 minutes into the second half, Chelsea got their season into gear with a goal to really whet the Bridge appetites. Gavin Peacock, Hoddle's major summer signing, had more than a hand in it, freeing John Spencer to stretch the Blackburn defence. And when eventually Dennis Wise arrived on the scene to provide a cutting edge with a terrific cross, Peacock reappeared, beating Bobby Mims's hand with a crashing header. It should have been the starter for more, but it was as good as the day got for Chelsea. They led for 15 minutes. A second goal in that period might have done the trick. Peacock showing off his entire repertoire, almost obliged. Ironically, it was a former Chelsea player, Graham Lasso, who engineered Blackburn's reply. Stuart Ripley pouncing between Hoddle and Sinclair in forthright fashion. Karine exposed and unable to prevent the drive flying clean through him. Blackburn looked the more likely to clean up. They did so with 12 minutes to spare. Karine failed to cope with Ripley's cross, and Mike Newell was the man in pole position. As Chelsea chased the game, Hoddle moved up into midfield, but the damage had been done. His look on the final whistle told its own story, but it's the manager's job to recount that story to all the waiting microphones.
We've lost our way in the second half when we should be dominating the game. At 1-0 up, we've actually started losing the reins on the game, which is a little bit alarming at the moment, and we've got to make sure that doesn't happen again.
How much can you influence the team at a time like that?
Well, if you have got an influence, obviously, when you're out there, talking wise and with the ball. But there was things that were disappointing, and perhaps, in hindsight, would have done something different. But it's always easy in hindsight.
Obviously, you need a tremendous amount of help, because if you're going to play, you need to rest. You need to train. You need to rest. You've got to look after yourself, and he's got to find a happy medium, I would think, between the matches that he watches and preparing for his own matches that he's going to play in. Only Glenn will find that out for himself. But I'm sure he's shown at Swindon that he's capable of doing it, and I just hope that somebody with his ability and talent can find a happy medium for himself that's going to be successful for Chelsea.
Yeah, he's still got that ability and talent, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he plays in a good position. It gets him the room to play. But once he gets it to his feet, he certainly can hurt you with a pass.
Clive Tilsley, the reporter there. Well, Aston Villa just ran out of legs on the run into last season. They finished second to Manchester United. And Queen's Park Rangers had a great season too. They were fifth. So, a good test for both clubs on the opening Saturday of the season. As to the team news, well, Villa gave Andy Townsend his debut. Their other signing, Guy Whittingham, started on the bench. No Andy Sinton in the Rangers side. He's certainly on the move. Who to? Who knows? Watching at Villa Park, Tony Gubber.
Saunders. That was a good tackle by Witter. Play waved on. It's beaten Wilson. Ray Houghton. Atkinson. And he's put that one over. Here's Andy Townsend now, making his Villa debut. Threads it through for Daly and Atkinson. He got to it. And Villa erupts in a celebration of a link-up in which Andy Townsend played a very instrumental part. That's what Ron Atkinson signed him for. McGrath. This is Simon Barker. Ferdinand, now Holloway. He tried to chip it over. Ferdinand! Oh, wonderful goal, Ferdinand! It's the only sight of Villa's goal that he's had in the first 44 minutes. But he didn't hesitate, did he? It did bounce, perhaps a little kindly for him, right on the edge of the penalty area. But it was a lovely height. That's a good ball to find Saunders. Gordon Cowans, 15. Steve Staunton. Chipped up for Daly and Atkinson. They're in the area. He's got Daly in support if he wants to use him. Saunders. On his right foot, he'll have to have a go. There have been 3 goals in this match, and they've all had the stamp of quality. This is Impey. Devon White, well hooked in and cleared by McGrath. White's kept it in play, and this is Impey. Ray Wilkins. Villa are whistling for 90 minutes. It's not over yet. Oh, it was agonisingly wide. Staunton. Only went as far as Daly and Atkinson. Oh, it's a great goal! Daly and Atkinson making sure that the match ends on a really high note for Aston Villa. Into stoppage time, and immediately after Rangers had almost scored at the other end. 3-1 Villa. And Villa start the new season with what looks like being an emphatic win. Cannoned off the side of the head of Andy Townsend, but it found Daly anyway. Staunton! Oh, Staunton! He doesn't score simple goals, does he, Steve Staunton? Everyone's a blinder. And suddenly the scoreline takes on a shape which does most accurately reflect the game. The last 2 Villa goals, a long time in coming, into stoppage time, but the quality continues, and Staunton with an absolute blinder.
Jerry, can you bring us up to date with the situation regarding Andy Sinton?
Well, not really, Tony. I don't really know exactly what's happened at the moment. Last time I spoke to Andy was on Thursday, and I understand that he's basically talked to one club, I believe it's Arsenal, and I think he's probably taking the weekend or whatever to make up his mind. you know, I can only hope that perhaps it all falls through and he stays here.
Are you resigned to losing him? And if you are, well, how do you feel about that?
Well, it looks like it, yeah, and I'm very disappointed and frustrated, really, but that's the way of the smaller clubs, unfortunately, and obviously Andy wants to get on. He made that clear, you know, to the chairman and myself on Tuesday, and you know, in this day and age, as a player, a former player, I can understand that there are great rewards out there now for families and for players, and it's only a short career. And I understand that situation, but obviously as a manager of this club and obviously as supporters, it's very disappointing.
Interesting to see which club shirt has Sinton on the back of it next week, Trevor, but Villa looking good today.
Yeah, it's a bit of a harsh scoreline for Rangers, but I mean, they got some cracking goals, didn't they, Villa? I seem to remember last season they figured in a few of our goal of the month. They look as if they'd be in contention again.
That's right. If you want to see special goals, get yourself to Villa Park. 4 great goals there, 3 from Villa and 1 from Les Ferdinand. Terrific strikes.
We'll see more of them before the end of the season, I'm sure. Well, we've still got goals from 3 of today's games to show you. The games at Upton Park, Boundary Park and Main Road.
The drama came very late at Main Road, only 4 minutes left. Mike Sherrin couldn't beat John Lukic, but Gary Flitcroft could. 1-0 to City, who've made a habit of winning this fixture in recent years. But Leeds undaunted, coming up a Rod Wallace push in the box that ruled out Brian Dean's apparent equaliser. But the former Sheffield United striker, you know, has scored on the opening day of the past 5 seasons, and today he made it 6. Keeper Tony Coton had a marvellous game, a miserable last few minutes. Leeds and Dean getting the draw they deserved. At Boundary Park, Oldham's worst fears about the sale of Ian Marshall midweek to their first visitors Ipswich were realised. Typically, Marshall it was who set his new club on the way to an emphatic victory. A hero not so long ago here, Marshall ruined Oldham's day. The Boundary Park menu almost inevitably includes plenty of goals. By half-time, Steve Palmer had made it 2-0 to Ipswich. And Ipswich, incidentally, had never won at Boundary Park in their 6 previous visits. Oldham's hospitality extended to Chris Kiwamya and Paul Mason, a new signing from Aberdeen as well. 3-0 to Ipswich, Oldham embarrassed on day 1. At Upton Park, West Ham's return to the top division produced a rough, tough battle and the sort of match in which Wimbledon and John Fashanu thrive. For an hour, the referee was certainly the busiest man on the pitch, and a mere couple of bookings was a mightily tolerant start to the new season. Wimbledon hadn't had a shot until Laurie Sanchez exposed the West Ham defence. John Fashanu, at almost 31, is still at the heart of Wimbledon's success. And 9 minutes later, the game effectively over. Frailties in the home defence exposed again. Laurie Sanchez the scorer, and the newcomers West Ham now know they've a lot to learn. Wimbledon's day out only upset indeed by a complaint against their owner Sam Haman. West Ham allege he scrawled obscenities on the wall of his own team's dressing room. He said tonight his words were meant to inspire his players.
Trevor, what do you make of having centre-halves at numbers 25 and 17? That's what struck me with squad numbers.
Well, it helps the supporters who miss out on a programme and get there a bit late, but it's not so good if you're a player and you make a big boob in front of everyone because they know who's done it. Eh?
Alan, I have a question to ask you as well. What was the longest name on the back of a shirt today?
That's a difficult one.
No idea.
Not a clue.
Well, I looked at the Bart Williams. If you count the hyphen, I'm sure it's Bart Williams.
That's really interesting.
What do you think about when you used to have your name on the back of your shirt? What did you think of that?
I wouldn't like it. As Trevor says, if you make a mistake, everybody knows it's you.
Alan, Trevor, thanks very much. And that's it as far as the first Saturday of the season is concerned. And for those of you who are interested in firsts, Coventry's Mickey Quinn got the first hat-trick, and Peter Beagrie got quite excited about scoring the first goal of the season. Good night.